Okay, welcome to the 7th episode of the Joe Zone podcast, and today I'm chilling with Pius Xulu.
Hola.
Is that how I say your name? Pronounce your surname.
You have to click. It's a click of a tongue. Xulu. You know,
Teach me that.
yeah, when you're chasing a dog away.
Is it at the back line?
Yeah, when you're chasing a dog away, Zulus or black people, you know, go on, what's that? Go away.
It's at the back.
Chase away, yeah. Xulu.
Pius Xulu.
Yeah.
Appa!
Nice.
Okay, so Pius works in hospitality. He's a comedian. He's a showrunner, and he's an all-around passive cool guy. We're gonna chat about his journey, like in comedy so far, and he's also gonna share with us his new company that he's busy working on or is in development. That he just finished telling me about.
Yeah, man, you'll hear about that.
So, Pius, how long have you been doing comedy, and how did you start comedy?
Well, before getting to comedy, since, you know, from the introduction, I work in hotels, so...
Yeah, hospitality.
I've been in hospitality since 2003, so I started in Sun City, at the Sun City Resort in Rustenburg.
Lekker.
Yeah, so I spent 10 years there.
Sure.
Very good 10 years.
Did you study for that?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
You know, plus also at the hotels you have in-house trainings that make you sharper on the edge, etc. And then 2012 I left Sun City. I resigned. I was the assistant operations manager of the Valley of the Waves. You know that man-made.
Yeah.
I was
Valley of the Waves.
of that, bro. Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah, so you know, you get to know people and all those kind of things. So I left there and then I went to the UAE.
UAE.
United Arab Emirates. People call it Dubai, but Dubai is actually a city in the UAE. So I got a job in Abu Dhabi at a company called Ferrari World Abu Dhabi. It's the first Ferrari themed theme park in the world. Everything in there is about Ferrari, Italy. So that's where I got
Where's
a
that
job.
In Dubai?
In the UAE, in Abu Dhabi.
In Abu Dhabi.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Abu Dhabi. I know there's Abu Dhabi Jiu-Jitsu, whatever
They have money.
Abu Dhabi people got big money.
Bruh. So
you worked at the Ferrari
World Abu Dhabi
theme park, is it?
Yeah, it's a theme park. So everything in there is about Ferrari itself. From Italy, games, entry, even our uniforms. I mean, we used to wear Puma like it's nothing, you know. And then after some time, I worked for a company called Kidzania in Dubai Mall. So
Kidzania?
Kidzania. It's a Mexican idea where the theme park itself, it's parents must go with kids because this is a place where kids need to learn. Like there's areas where to teach or to make them do nursing stuff, teaching stuff, DJing. It's like an academy but a game.
Okay, so this is like next level theme parks.
Next level theme park. And then I had
money, like
money, bro, and Arab money, bro. You know, so and the
people just dropping money at the theme parks.
Spend money like it's nothing, bro. They tip when they like, they don't tip when they don't. But they're good people. Okay. You know, the currency there is good. The story
and there's obviously people, a lot of tourism.
Yeah, and you hear a lot of things in the media, but when you're in the country, it's so different. The media makes it look like Muslims or Muslim countries are terrible people or harsh people. They are not. They just stick to their rules and their culture and their religion. And it works for them.
And if you follow the rules, it's all good in the world.
Plus you're in their country. So they don't make you forget that. You must know that. You know, and then I came back 2014 and I was doing some stuff. I tried a few things here and there. And then 2015 I visited my friend who I worked with in Sun City, and I met because I used to run a soccer team there, which used to win a lot.
So when you came back, where were you? Where did you come back?
I came back home. I went home to KZN for like 2 years. I couldn't touch, you know, I was down at that time. A lot of things were not going well for me, man. You know, I couldn't find jobs. I used to get declined.
But you then had such good experience, like.
Yeah, but I used to get declined for like the simplest jobs, like, you know, positions you did way before. Just trying it out, and you get declined, and you're like, no, the goals are not with me.
Sure,
that's against me.
Yeah.
You know, so it was during that time. So I went to
How long was it for you out of
2
job?
years, man.
Bruh.
But it helped because I got to visit most of my relatives that I hadn't due to work.
Yeah.
You know, so 2015 I went to a place
But
called...
you still had money from Dubai, sort of, that you had saved up, or not really?
People think there's a lot of money in Dubai.
I know about that,
bruh. And what you earn.
When you come back from overseas, you always think you're going to have money, but it
we
doesn't really last.
We had some savings because my wife was working there as well.
Yeah.
So 2015, I was like, you know what? I have nothing to lose because these guys used to do Sunday sessions where they play house music, poetry sessions and whatnot. And I said, you know what? I can start doing comedy here. Because, you know, when you're down and out, you say, you know what? Let me try what I've always wanted to do.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Because I was working.
Yeah.
Let me try it now and see what's gonna happen.
And you got nothing to lose.
Nothing, bro. So I prepared for like a week. My first ever set was in a township called Mutlakeng Township on the West Rand. My friend Tabang Lisabe introduced me to the guys there.
So had you seen stand-up before then?
There was never stand-up. It was
you
only,
just saw it on TV or whatever.
I saw it. I was there for like 3 weeks, so I saw every Sunday sessions. It's mainly deep house, but they have openings of people drumming, you know, poetry sessions.
But where did you see stand-up comedy before?
I've seen it on TV. No, so
never live.
Never live. I'm always a fan of
That's mad,
comedy.
man, bro. Bruh. You did stand-up comedy without seeing it live.
Without ever seeing it live.
That's
you know? No, actually,
maybe you'd seen it live.
I once saw Riyad Musa in Sun City at a conference, and also with David Gao.
Check it. Did he do that? Did he do that one in the national, that David Attenborough one? Remember, Riyad Musa used to do this David Attenborough one. Like he say, and the colored in the.
But, you know, Riyad Musa are one of those people that I respect, bruh.
Yeah.
Because it takes guts to leave being a doctor to do comedy full time.
But he's back.
Shows you like, damn. Yeah, he is. But you know, at that time, it shows that, you know, this guy follows his dream. So I went on.
But back to the story, yeah.
Yeah, so I went on.
So you
murdered my first ever 5 minutes.
So you're at the deep out sessions now,
yeah.
right? You're gonna now, obviously, I just wanna set the people up.
Yeah.
You're at the deep out sessions.
Yeah.
You obviously wrote your own material,
yeah.
right? Was it like one-liner material?
Yeah, that's what I do, dog. And it was in
so you wrote up
some English.
Okay, so you wrote your stuff up. Did you try it out with anybody before?
No, I tried it with myself on the mirror. Right, that was the only time. So
you
but
go
I
up.
trusted it because
your first time you go up.
Yeah, so I go up. So first it was a guy drumming, and then a poetry guy. How they do the thing. And then for the first time ever, we have stand-up comedian Pius Xulu. Just hearing your name and people chanting, but they don't know you. So you go on stage and you start your dry material, and you're like, oh, I got them. And that's where it said, you know what, I don't ever want to lose this. I want to do this again, which is why I did it the last night. And I want to do it every week. That feeling of being on stage, bruh. Like, I never planned it. It just happened. Like, time came and said, bruh, this is the time for you to start doing stand-up.
Nah, that's right, man.
Yeah.
So nowadays, right? So let's fast forward a bit.
Yeah.
You did your stand up for the first time, right? Yeah. Take me through what happened next. Like, how did you? What was the next step for you to next big step? I would say, like.
Yeah. So one of the steps that I took is I got in touch with Parker's Comedy, the person that does take care of the bookings.
In Joburg, eh?
In Johannesburg, and I was in Johannesburg. This is now after I killed on my first ever night. You know, I'm hyped up. You know that feeling of killing? Oh, this is easy, man. Why people think it's a struggle? So with that,
I know that all too well, but I made a big fool of myself that way. But anyway.
It happens, though, but it's the way we learn.
Yeah.
You know, so I contact them. They respond. Listen, dude. I think it was a Thursday. They say, you know what, you can come and play at Parker's on this Thursday or whatever. Then I can't remember now. I think they told me 3 weeks in advance. Try to prepare. And then night came, we went. I still remember Martin Davis was a host.
Okay.
Dylan Oliphant was there. And Shima Isaacs.
Okay.
Dylan Oliphant was the headliner.
Okay.
And I was on the open spot. I have never ever died like that in such an environment. Bruh! I'm like, it was the third time ever I've got on stage. After the first time I killed in the township, I thought this is dope. I did another gig, and then I went to Parker's. Died because the material I had prepared and was show off, I thought I had to change it because I wanted to make fun of white people. And then, because thinking Parker's will be mainly black audiences. When I get there, I see it's literally white and colored people. People who I had prepared I was going to make fun of. And then I thought I had to change my material so that I don't offend them. You know, so I went there, die. I remember Shima Isaac, who said, she came to me like, dude, don't worry, it had to happen somewhere. This is part of your growth. You have to die, and dying will wake you up.
Okay.
To show you things are not easy. That was the first time ever I met Shimi, and she was genuine from that day until today.
Shit. So you met obviously a lot of people along the way. So when did you move from Joburg up to Cape Town?
Yeah. So when
what year?
did my things, you know, and then in 2016 I got a job in Cape Town for one of the hotel groups, back to hospitality. So I literally came on the 29th of Feb. In 2016, and I started my job on the 1st of March on 2016. So I stayed at the place where I was working. So I worked. But
when you came,
yeah,
were you thinking about comedy?
No, I was thinking of being in Cape Town and the job I just got. Because remember, I haven't been working for full 2 years.
Okay, so you were just thinking about getting now. Okay.
And
I see.
The other thing with that was confusing.
So while you were in Joburg, so you applied for jobs everywhere. You were still applying to jobs. Okay.
I updated my LinkedIn profile, which is why, you know, when we had the comedy conference, Yasin Barnes said, you know what, guys, your social media, you need to make sure it's always updated. Your LinkedIn, your Facebook, all of those things, they help, because with my job overseas, I got it through LinkedIn. So these things always have.
You have to keep that updated.
It has to be updated.
It's very important.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know, so that's just how things been, and it's been, you know, since coming here, then work, and then later in the year I saw a post from a guy called Joe Emilio. He runs gigs. Just called That's Funny.
I know Joe Emilio.
Yeah, it was called That's Funny at the time.
So he sent you a message?
I saw it on Facebook. He used to post a lot, you know. So I see there's a poster. He's looking for comedians. He's gonna do a showdown, a comedy showdown.
Cool.
You know, starts from, I don't know, 20 comedians or whatever. So we went to Girls Rave on the first one. Alright, yo, man, I had to spend money on Uber. But I said, flip. My wife, because my wife was in Dubai, I came first. You know, my grandmother wanted me back because she said, you know, Dubai is too far. She will never fly. Birds fly, not humans. I was like, but Coco, I'll put money in for you, and then you fly everything full. She's like, no.
No, she don't want to hear that, bro.
An aeroplane, birds fly, not human beings. Want to touch God. No, you still need to go to church and pray.
Okay.
You know?
She's hectic.
Coco was hectic. You know, this is what I love also about old people. They don't give a damn.
They just say it like it is.
They say it like it is.
Old people and
it.
Kids. And kids, and young kids. Like I've wanted the 2-year-old. They say what's on their mind. Like they say it straight what is on their mind. Yeah. So that's a good segue for us. So now you in Cape Town, right?
Yeah.
Whoa, you obviously starting to work, starting to take on comedy.
So
your wife comes
around
back?
July. So when Joe Emilio took me to the showdown, so we traveled all over southern suburbs, just doing this competition, and I came second there. I didn't win it, but it was a great experience. And he took me and introduced me to a lot of comedians. So, you know, when I talk about people who are genuine and still are genuine, Joe Emilio and even the Cape Town comedians know that he's one of those guys that I will always be loyal to, and I will always publicly show appreciation for, because Joe Emilio was good to me, and he literally held my hand and took me all over and said, Pius, just show up. I'll book you. We're going to have a lot of open spots, and it's what I needed. And to today, I've done so many things, man, in the industry in terms of playing gigs, organizing gigs. Because for me, also another thing is, I'm one person that loves fairness, and also to try and tell people around me, guys, you need to practice to be fair. Like, for instance, it always Ryan, bothered me that open micers are not mentioned on posters or on posts on social media.
I know what you mean, yeah.
You know, and you're like, you know what, dude, I'm coming to play your gig. You're not gonna be paying me. At least mention me on your post to say that I'm gonna be there. It's just, a mention means a lot.
It's a weird how do I say it? There's levels to it. There's levels to it. Like, if you like an open micer, you must like be on this level. If you were a support act, you're like on this level.
Yeah.
If you on I don't know, if you were support and I don't know what's higher. What's higher? A host or dinges. You know what I mean? There's levels to it, like, and yeah, sometimes the open micers are sort of like left, like, but I mean, I don't know. That's how maybe the guys see you must like cut your teeth on the stuff.
Yeah,
like.
but you know what, Ryan, it's not necessary. If you can design a poster with your lineup, you know, your headline, your host, and your support act, and you book 2 open micers. If you're not putting them on your poster, at least put them on the caption to say so and so open micers. Just as a mention, also that plays a role. At least I was attached to that poster, to that gig, to show that I also play. Because how else are you gonna promote yourself? You can post as much as you post, but you also need other people to post about you, to say that you're doing stuff.
To pick up you, yeah. Like Joey Milo to rap for you, basically.
To rap for you, yeah.
In the game, like.
Yeah.
So Joey Milo played obviously a big influence on you.
Yeah, man.
So then, okay, so now you in Cape Town, right? Does your wife come back here?
So my wife came back in 2018. She came back in 2017, early last year.
Okay.
And then life became better. Also, my kids came back because they used to stay in the Northern Cape. My wife is from a place called Kuruman.
Sure.
You know, when I go there, I tell you, you know what, my love, I love you, and I show you that I'll go to the end of the world for you, because that's how far you guys are from.
Kuruman,
end of the world.
Where is it?
Kuruman is next. Cape. Northern Cape is next to
almost
Namibia.
Like in Namibia. I was going to say now.
Namibia, you know, the Bushmen there, you see them live and they speak it, and it's so fascinating when So it's fascinating, like, what place of Africa is this? Because to you, you're intrigued about all that's happening. To them, it's local. It's like, why is
they still live like it? Like some parts of
excited about us speaking. Like, goddamn, you know. So that alone, also having my wife, having my kids here, that excites me. So it puts you in a good space because we have a very strong bond, you know. And my wife knows that I've been doing stand-up comedy, and I started doing it in Cape Town while she was in Dubai, and she will see posts. I will tell her what I'm doing.
Okay, so she understands what you put into the game.
She tries to understand. You know.
Can I? I got a question. I got a question. Right? So we ran through quite a lot of our questions already. Yeah. So 4 of it is off already. But this is a topic that I want to ask you to help me with. Like, right? I struggle with work, comedy, kids, podcasts, Facebook lives, trying to do all these things. I try to. I don't have time to do all these things, but I try to do it to sort of, like you say, like push, get myself out there. You doing it on a better rate than me, bro. How do I get? How do you do it? Like, or are you struggling deep down? Or are you struggling and you're not just saying it? But it looks like me that your work rate is higher than mine. So I want to know, how do I get to your work rate? Because I look up to that, man.
Yeah.
You're like a big bro, like, this big bro can do it, I can do it. Like, how do I get there? Like, how do I ensure that my kids are getting time, my wife is getting time, or everybody's getting their time and still push forward?
You know, dog, it starts with having a good relationship at home. If your partner or your family is good with you and you guys are in a good space, kids will be fine. Because you don't have to worry. You know, the moment you feel bad or there's negative vibes with you and your family, you automatically as a man know that your kids are not going to be treated well, because you and the grown-ups in there have a negative vibe. But if you guys are in a good space and things are well, and especially for you, you are the peace creator. Even if you might not be happy with things all the time, but you know why you're doing it. You're doing it so that your kids and them can be in a good space. But it's very hurtful to find out that your kids are not happy or not treated well. So you as a guy, you think forward and say, you know what, I need this and this and this to happen. So that person needs to be in a good space with me, so that they can be in a good space with my kids. Now, if you know that you're leaving your kids in a good area with people that you connect with, why would you worry? Because they understand you, you understand them, you guys have a connect. But that takes maturity to get into thinking that way. Once the family side is sorted, you are sorted. Because what else is going to disturb you? Your wife is there, or your partner is there, or your live-in helper, which is something, very important. So my wife got someone from Lesotho, a very nice lady.
So you have a living lady at house?
Yeah, we have a living lady at house that helps my wife and I.
Sure,
with the kids.
That's awesome, brother.
It's not easy, but
because obviously it's money out of yours.
Yeah, it's compromised, but you know why? Because it's for the kids. My wife and I work in hospitality, so we have crazy shifts.
Does your wife still work in hospitality?
Yeah, she does. So we have crazy shifts. So there's times where the two of us are not at work. So this is Cape Town, bro. You can't have your kids just being alone in the house.
Yeah, most definitely.
So because you'll be at work, but your mind is not at work.
Yeah, it's not safe.
It's not safe. So what's money to a life?
Yeah.
So you spend that amount of money to a live-in helper because it's for your kids and for your well-being.
Is she part of your family?
She's not our relative. You got her from an agency.
Okay, but does she form part of your family?
Yeah, she is, man. She's part of the family. Like, the kids listen to her more to her more than us, because they've got that bond already, and it's important,
I think that's an important thing for me also to take away, and it's like almost like you hitting me in the heart, like with what you just said there, like that's maybe the most important thing I ever heard on the Joe Zone podcast is like you have to leave your kids in a positive space, and you have to be the peacemaker with in you and your wife's situation to make that whole situation work. Like, family is very important. Like, and I think it's an overriding factor in a lot of my podcasts. Like, how important family is and how it fits into our daily lives. Because we can tell jokes till tomorrow, like, but you ultimately you don't want to be a comedian and be divorced and shit like that.
You don't want those things because it breaks families. It's terrible. Like, speaking of families, like for me, dog, my parents broke up when I was very young. And I hardly speak about these things. But these stories are part of the reasons why I do comedy. And for me, it's not because I'm sad. I'm excited about it because it taught me a lot of things about life, which I think I wouldn't have if I had both my parents. So I'm half Xhosa, half Zulu.
Is it?
Yeah, but I'm more Zulu than Xhosa because I grew up with my father's side, which is Zulu.
I didn't know that, bro. Yo, you just put me on the heavy.
Like I'm saying, I
know, but you understand.
Some of these things.
Yeah, but that's quite interesting because I mean you have you see things from two different perspectives. Like it's like something. So I want to explain in my comedy as like you get different types of colors. you get different types of colors. You know what I mean? And but yet now I've experienced both sides of that the coin, and it's like it's interesting. Like so. So it's maybe a deeper topic that we can share with you, which we can speak about next time when you come on our podcast.
For sure. But that's just what happened, and that alone has taught me a lot of things about life, people, outlook, and now with comedy as well. I run gigs in Cape Town. Like for instance, there's one that's very popular now. We started in January at a place called Ukamba Beer Works. It's at the Palms in Woodstock.
I know what that is.
They came to my first ever one-man show here at Nomad. called the delayed response. I'll never forget. It was December the 5th. It was a Monday. I was doing my first ever one-man show.
Yeah. I never saw your one-man show. I should see it like.
Yeah, it was alright for the first one. So the guys came and said, listen, you need to come and see where we do Kamba Beer Works. It's a brewery, plus it's also a shop. Maybe you can do comedy there. So went, visited them. So I took the show there. It was in January. So from that January, every last Friday of the month, we did comedy day. And it was supported up until 4th of May. We decided we were going to do comedy there every Friday of the week. And it's mainly a black audience, which is beautiful and rare to find in parts of the city or suburbs of Cape Town. Yeah. Because you find those audiences mainly in townships.
Yes.
So that's a vibe that they like. And even the comedians, the Cape Town comedians, love it. Like, you know, your white comedians, your black comedians, colored comedians, love that crowd because you find it more in Johannesburg. And finding it here now in Cape Town at a place you can go to, it's even more exciting because you try out new stuff that you think you can only try in Joburg where the audience is here.
Can I tell you something? And maybe I was opening up about myself. Like, it's like I maybe fear speaking to a black audience. Like,
yeah, why is that?
I don't know, because I think they maybe not gonna get me. It's like I maybe live a life that they can't relate to. Like,
what you know what?
But there is parts of my story that they can, but I don't know how to translate. I don't know.
You know what happens, Joe? Ryan, you have a problem, not them. You have a problem not understanding
how to translate
or how to feel about doing it to a black audience. Let me tell you something.
So tell me about that.
There's a guy called Eugene Vanako. He's a colored guy.
But he kills.
He murdered in the township.
But he's himself.
But in the colored comedians, he dies. And that's what he says. You know what, Pius? In black audiences, like, kill, I murder.
Yeah, they love him.
In my area, I don't. You know why, Joe? Because he's introducing stories about other people that are funny to them.
Yeah.
So
now you see, I need to do that. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to make
like
my
the stuff
story.
you are doing right now. You think they won't get it? They'll get it.
I know they'll get it, but I don't know how to use that baby humor, a daddy baby humor. I need to. I don't know. I need to perform there and do it like.
The best thing though is to do it like how you normally do it.
Do it like I normally do it, and just see what it is.
Don't work too hard on changing. Do it like just how you do it.
Anywhere
Trust
else.
it. Have faith in it. Do it in a black audience. It will murder because you trust in it.
Oh yeah.
Like that, dog.
I'm gonna try, bro.
Well,
you know what?
That's my advice, at least.
No, you're right. You must never ever. You must try. You must never ever not try to things. Put that off like that's you almost finished. Yeah.
Okay.
So how do you come up with a one-liner joke?
Like for me, I always think of the punchline first.
Okay, so you were there now already.
Yeah.
You always think of the punchline first and then work back from there.
And then work back from that. Like for instance, let me do this gag for you.
Sure.
A pastor was asked, what is his favorite animal? He said it's a donkey. They said, why a donkey out of all the animals? He said, no, he just loves ass.
Okay, so he loves ass.
Yes. So that was my punchline. He loves ass. Because he's a pastor and ass is donkey. Especially in the biblical times and whatnot. So how am I going to put this in an ambiguous way to say he loves asses and a donkey? Plus also pastors, especially in the townships, they love them some ass. So it's ambiguous in that way. So the gags are right. I try my best to show two sides to a story. Like for instance, my friend was a chef in prison. He was serving time. The punchline is serving time. Serving time is twice. The first one, prison food. Some prison food is called time.
Is
or time, yes.
It's serving time.
Yeah,
okay.
And then also when someone is in prison, they are serving time. Yeah, and then when he went out of prison, he became a barman. He just can't escape being behind bars. Again,
Okay,
the bars
bars
is twice.
twice.
It's bars as in behind, bars as in jail, and bars as in behind, being a barman, behind the actual bar serving alcohol and drinks.
Yeah, there's something I don't know if I can do. I'm gonna struggle with that. I'm gonna work it on. Give me one more one line. A throwaway one for the podcast.
Like I have a white friend.
Yeah.
He's very obsessed with caps lock. I call him the white capitalist.
I heard that one. I like that one before. Okay, so moving on from one-liners. So you were, so you also got a Deep House podcast, right?
Yeah. So
tell me about that. Like your love of music since obviously when you were going to Deep House sessions, were you playing at those Deep House sessions?
Yeah, for sure. So the love for Deep House. Let's be quick. I see the time is gone.
Yeah, I don't have to.
Yeah. So the love for house started when I was in high school. DJs like DJ Fresh, they would release the Fresh House Flavor.
Fresh House Flavor 4.
Yeah. Like I started from Fresh House Flavor 1 up until the last one. You know, because you used to follow him.
How old are you now?
I'm 36 this year. I was born.
Sure, we're the same age. Exactly.
I was born on the 25th of Feb 1982.
Oh, you're older than me.
Yeah. Well, a few months.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and then 2012, I started to the Deep House podcasting because for me, Ryan, I've always had a thing of back in the day buying cassettes or CDs. I wouldn't listen to the popular song. I want to listen to other songs in the CD that are nice, but people don't think that they are nice because they are not popular. Now, that's a music. I've always been awkward like that. I would pick those songs.
And I know what you're talking about.
Play them and enjoy them. I'm like, I don't understand the fuss about this popular song because there's better songs in this CD that are nicer than this popular song. And you just like flip. I wish I was that musician. I would have chosen this song. So the whole thing started there also with me writing comedy. It was always I don't want to do easy things because everyone is doing it. If I do one-liner comedy, it will challenge me because not many South Africans are doing it. And it needs you to be more and more creative and not in long sentences but short. So the first thing is to have a story and then to cut it short to a boom, boom, bam. Because we are not storytellers, we are one-liners. But then what you do then, with someone that does it very well, and I love him, Regan Allen. He's a beautiful one-liner that's a storyteller. So he tells very nice stories in one-liner mode. I tried sometimes, but not as good as Regan Allen.
He is good at it.
Regan Allen is king.
He's
like
doing well,
I respect him. Like I enjoy. You know when you love one of your peers so much that you just enjoy watching them. You just melt. Like when you hear them play, like, oh man, Regan, people should watch this guy. You know, you just melt.
He's doing really, really well now. Yes. He's at the Jive Comedy Festival.
Yeah, he's doing good things.
Awesome, man.
So the Deep House podcast, so I started in 2012. I've seen people doing Deep House podcasts. I love mid-tempo, it's down-tempo. So if a song is 120, 125 BPM, that's very fast for me. Sounds like, I like to move it. I like to move it. It's too fast. But if you down it to 100 BPM, do, I like to. It's slow and it's chilled. I hate the rush. I like to move it. So I started featuring and doing my own podcast, just doing mixtapes, mid-tempo. And then I said, you know what? Let me put other DJs in here that play their normal BPMs so other people can celebrate or download in my podcasts. So I've always had that thing of, if I find a way of getting in, let me see how else I can put other people in a way that also excites me. And in a way that I feel is fair.
Okay.
If it wouldn't be fair to me, I wouldn't do it. Yes. So I started with podcasting since 2012 on Podomatic. So it's DJ's Lounge. It's DEEJAYS LOUNGE. DJsLounge.podomatic.com. So 2012.
We'll share the links. You don't have to spell it out.
Yeah. So people downloaded it. It was #1 worldwide on Podomatic under Deep House Music.
Okay.
And because of people streaming, people downloading, people doing all kinds of things. And then when I came back to South Africa, I had to cut down because being pro on Podomatic, if you convert it to rand, is 6,500 rands. But in Dubai,
that's too much. There must be something else cheaper though.
Yeah, so in Dubai I was doing it because it was cheaper and I could afford it. There's no way I'm paying 6,100 rands for people to download mixtapes from music that I had to spend data and money to purchase. You know, unless I have a sponsor. You know, so I then had to use two websites to download music to store as well. It's Data File Host and SendSpace. So we would do them, put them there, and sometimes I put them on DJ's Lounge podcasts. You don't get that much downloads because of the bandwidth limit. So the alternative links, Data File Host and SendSpace, will then be there for people to download. So it's something we've been doing for a while. So as a comedian that I am, I still do podcasting, the DJ's Lounge podcasting, but not as massive as I used to, because my main focus now is comedy. And the if I can just extend,
obviously we need to talk about that.
The comedy conference that happened on Saturday, man, it was one of the best days of my life.
You don't need to talk about the conference, man. You can just talk about
one of the best days of my life, because
what happened.
So comedy conference is started by Kate Collide from the Collide and Collide. So the first one happened in Johannesburg. So the second one happened this past Saturday at the Cape Town Comedy Club. The things that were shared there, things that were spoken about, you know, the things that were shared there, and the people that came, and the caliber of conversations made you realize that, you know, comedy is not child's play. This is not Mickey Mouse. This is a career. This is something people must take serious. It's not a joke. Yes, we make jokes on stage, but we are joking about things because we're not taking things serious. And this is them coming to us, telling us.
Yes.
It doesn't get better than that. Right? And you see from the onset that this is business. You know, there's different segments in the meetings, in the conference rather, and each segment has its own thing. So the one that I loved was the one where they were speaking about booking agencies and you know, getting around corporate bookings.
Obviously in Cape Town there's no agencies, there's no comedy agency in Cape Town. There's no person no agency that's running this that you're gonna go to the book. So there's a gap in the market.
Yeah, major gap. So they were speaking about that, and it was like, I remember Tracy Klaus was speaking about she did a gig and needed to do a BEE form afterwards. She's like, I'm white. How am I going to fill this form? I'm not part of a company. You know, and Stephen Gaze and I stood up and said, you know what, I've been doing MC duties for such and such company, and they haven't paid me because they keep on giving me a BEE form to prove that they hired a black MC. And Stephen Gaze is like, flip this, I'm not signing it. There has to be a way. So this is frustrating them.
So they need an agency to handle these.
So Altaf Syed stands up and say, you know what, Johannesburg and Durban have agencies that book corporate comedians. We don't have anything here in Cape Town. What's going on? What's the way? What are the plans? And then I stood up and said, you know what, hi, I'm Pius Xulu. First and foremost, Tracy and Siv, there's different ways of looking at this thing. Don't always be frustrated about what's in front of you. You need to link up with people or companies that can get these forms done for you. However, you need to have a relationship with them, because it's something that you want. It's something you need assistance with. It's similar to corporate environments where you need stock and you have relationships with the suppliers, and you need a new stock items, and that company doesn't have the documentation that's needed by your main company. So you drive it through your supplier. The supplier is approved with your company, so the supplier sends it to you. Done deal. Painless. At the end, you
need somebody to handle all. It's difficult for you as a creative to handle the paperwork. So it's almost like it'd be better if we had a company handling all those, making sure that all the rules is followed.
Regulations, procedures. Yeah, so just to end this one then. And then I said the second part is that what I want to say is myself and Mira, there's a female lady, you guys know her, she's black, she performs everywhere, she's from Google.
She's dope, I enjoy her comedy.
She's nice.
She's so cool and calm and
like that.
She's like a she's like a rapper, like a comedy rapper.
She's gonna be big next year.
A rock star.
You know, so I'm like, guys, Mira and myself came to an understanding. We had a meeting. I said, Mira, I've never professionally managed an artist, and you've never professionally had a manager. Let's try this relationship with the two of us.
Sure.
I'm working full time. You are not, but you are funny. So let's push you to get in and to do your thing. The two of us are trying this relationship of you having now an artist and me managing you.
Yeah.
We don't need agencies. We will be our own agency. So when Mira came, I had already started a movement called SA Comedy Shares. Yeah. Where I share.
I follow them on Twitter.
Yeah, so then Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
You know, we'll share it on
yeah.
there.
So and our tag, SA Comedy Shares, and our tagline is, "We are big." Then the bigger picture, you know. So
we'll share it. I'll put this podcast on the SA Comedy
our
Share.
Tagline, yeah, is we are part of a bigger picture. To say, you know what? Let's share what the work that we have. Let's have a portal where you can find all of these things. This is why we say we are part of the bigger picture, is that I don't have to always share my things. Because the bigger picture is let's have a portal where we can find everything comedy. Yes. So send me your posters, send me your information via the email or inbox on Twitter or inbox on Facebook. But people don't do those things, but they expect you to go and look for the information to post it. And we've posted on our mediums to say, guys, SA Comedy Shares is here to support. Send us your stuff, you're going to post it. You know, so we are getting at the place now where everything, the documentation and everything for SA Comedy Shares is going to be legit. We're going to start our own agency here in Cape Town.
That's what I like to hear.
Comedians.
That's what I like to
hear.
And
it happened.
Pious.
And it was like, damn, this is what's happening. And everyone seems to be supporting it. And man, it's a great feeling. It's a great thing. You know, because it started from a cell phone. You know, that's the great thing about cell phones now. It's like any idea that you have, you write it down. I was like, you know what? Let me open my own SA Comedy Shares and call it we are part of the bigger picture. Because I know why. It's a bigger picture than what we think. Cape Town has its own comedians. Yeah. And besides Cape Town, it's what we know here. The Western Cape has comedians. There's stories that need to be told, which have not been given the platform. So let's try and open our own platforms. That's the thinking.
Pious, thanks, man. Pious, yo, that was an awesome conversation. Thank you for coming on the Joe Zone podcast. To wrap it up, like, I understand what you're trying to say. I'm trying to build a platform, a Joe Zone platform. You're trying to build with your own comedy agency, SA Shares, SA Comedy Shares. Sorry. Yeah. We're all trying to build like something that's obviously, so that we can get exposure and I can put other people on. Like, I don't only have comedians on the Josen podcast. I have other people that's maybe working in different environments. Yeah, so well. It's all about pushing, lifting each other's up, man. Putting each other up and stuff like that on a pedestal instead of putting each other down. Man.
Yeah, and I appreciate the feature, man, Joe. It means a lot to me, Ryan. I appreciate such things because one, like I dreamt of such things. You know, like currently there's my debut show called the One Man Comedy Show Extravaganza running at the Ukamba Beer Works. It started on the 20th of July. It's going to end on the 7th of September. It's going to be every Friday of the month where each comedian is doing a one-man show. They've got a host, which is called Pingemboma, and each comedian has 2 opening acts. But again, similar to the podcasting in terms of Deep House, not just featuring myself. Let me feature one-man shows, but make it mandatory that you have 2 opening acts. Because then you're not only putting yourself up, you're putting up-and-comers with you.
Awesome, man.
You know,
spread
things. Spread the love. It might not mean anything now, but look at it 5 years' time, you'll see the meaning. Because the growth, the gap is going to be huge. So just do what you feel is correct, because you know the vision, what you're envisioning, is going to only be seen 3 to 5 years' time.
Awesome.
And you've done it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much,
Okay.
Ryan. I appreciate this, man. Once this is out, I want to hear it, man, and promote it and post it like crazy. Nyabonga. Thank you.
Safe.